Hello and welcome to my twin flame journey. I am Shine, and this is going to be I was going to get ready to say September, for the December reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars. And be sure to check your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mars to get additional messages. Also keep in mind that these readings are general, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I also may be describing you or the person that you're dealing with, so switch the energies around if need be. I also do not discriminate in my readings. I read for those who have been on the receiving end of misdeeds and those who have done them. So again, whatever side of the coin you may fall on, apply the energy as it fits to you and your situation. And if it doesn't fit, don't force it to fit. It's simply not your message. If you'd like a personal reading, all of the information is below. If you'd like to do an energy exchange and donate to the channel, donations are also greatly appreciated. How to do that is below. I'm doing a law of attraction spread for everyone to close out the year so it can kind of prepare us for going into the new year with newfound awareness and to heal whatever things still need to be healed so that we can bring in better things in the new year. So that is the concept of this reading here. These are the clarifiers for these cards. This card represents the vibration that you're currently sending out. This is something that you need to be more open to receiving. This card represents what will come when you are more open to this. This card represents the next step that you have to take, the leap of faith. This card represents how can you manifest even more successfully. And the last card represents the advice from Spirit. I also have here what chakras that we're needing to work on in order to, again, attract better things. This is the overview for the month. Advice, the challenge or obstacle, advice in regards to love, and of course at the end, the reality check or the lesson that we're needing to take with us going further on our journey. So let us begin here with, and I'm sorry, I meant to do Sagittarius and Aries last night, and I was going to do the air signs today, but my back was killing me, and I laid out these cards last night, and I said, nope, I can't sit here. So, not that you probably would know the difference, but I thought I'd tell you anyway. Anyway, here we have the overview for the month. It's time to go. It's time to keep it moving on something here. Let's see, number 45. Time to go. Essential meanings, endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. It's kind of like the Eight of Cups, reminds me. The Oracle's message, you are at the end of a journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. There is nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. Relationship message, it's over, or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is the time of letting go, of knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. That doesn't mean anything is lost, although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract. It is more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. And I also have a saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, that means the third party didn't want it either. Let it go again. It's my own little joke, and sometimes that is the case. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. Prosperity message. This message is clear. The path you've been on with your work, creative projects, and business alliances has come to an end. You will not find the success you desire by continuing with what is now in front of you. This is an auspicious sign because there is no chance that this will benefit you other than risking stepping into the unknown. It is time to walk towards something new. This card also pertains to the more neutral concept of completion. You finished your tasks and can rest assured that this ending will open up a powerful new avenue of opportunity, even better than any you can imagine. You have done all you can. Now trust that Spirit keeps the plan moving forward. Fortune requires you to conclude this chapter of your life, and remember that when you close one door, another opens. Protection message: even if it appears that you've reached the end of the line and all is lost, it isn't. You're in a situation that will resurface again later, so consider this a break rather than an ending. Lord, destiny is in charge here. You lose nothing and gain everything when you surrender to that fact. Your soul knows that your destiny is unfolding with perfect timing and synchronicity. Your small self has doubts, but that is natural, as it doesn't have the map of your destiny. The soul does. Spirit loves you. Trust that. So that is that message. And then we have here the challenge, obstacle. We have the Ice Queen. Ideas preserved, non-action, and entitlement. Let us see what this card says. Number 28. It's in the ally position because it's upright. It says here that the Ice Queen has come to block your movement for your highest good. Let your ideas be preserved until later. You can thaw them out and use them at another time when they will best serve. The realm of the Ice Queen is the place of non-action, and now is a perfect time to take a look at how far you've come and to ask yourself for a reclarification of your highest goals. Not all your plans can be accomplished at this moment. In fact, putting them on ice allows for the perfect timing later on. Don't be too hasty in trying to reach your goal. An even better one will present itself if you surrender and spend the winter with the Ice Queen. Perhaps, too, you're trying to do too many things at once. This is a good occasion to choose only one thing to focus on and let the Ice Queen put the others in the deep freeze until a more appropriate time. She'll let you know when it's time to let them thaw. So again, we could be talking about relationship stuff. We can be talking about career, business, associates, what have you. Again, apply those messages to however it might relate to your current circumstance. Obviously, it's about, as the Kenny Rogers song goes, knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, knowing when to walk away, and knowing when to run, right? Discernment, what's working, what's not, and moving towards things that are for our highest and best, which are going to bring us abundance and growth. No longer wasting our time on situations that don't bring that. Also, perhaps a need to focus on one particular thing as opposed to being scattered all over the place, as if, maybe you have multiple projects going on or things like that. So it's about, again, figuring out what's working, what's not, reevaluating, reassessing, and making out a plan so that whatever we do invest in the future will hopefully reap some kind of benefit or reward for us once we've taken a step back, gained some perspective, and figured out again what we want, what works, what doesn't, etc. Right? Then we have here recovery. So again, taking that time, stepping back, reflecting, healing, analyzing, figuring out again our next steps, what we're going to do. But this is again about focusing on the self and what is genuinely, again, for our highest and best, and what things do we need to heal from in order to, again, get out of our own way or remove people or situations that are blocking our way. Right? Oh, look, I opened up to the page right away. Recovery. This is a period of recovery and healing for you. The challenging emotions that you've been dealing with will fade away with time. Although it may be difficult to see now, there is a joyful future awaiting you. But for now, take all the time you need to regain your strength. This card can also mean that your recovery is nearly finished or already complete. Send words of gratitude to heaven and begin planning for the next exciting phase of your life. Now, I will read the love and the other thing afterwards, but let us now go into the chakras. And you actually had 4 come out. I says, geez, Spirit, couldn't we just get 2? We'll be here all night or all day or what have you. Miracle. This, of course, is solar plexus chakra. This deals with, again, our thoughts. As we thinketh, so we are, right? And you also have root chakra, which is, what grounds us, needing to get in balance with that. Because, again, if we're all over the place and our emotions and our thoughts are scattered, or any kind of state of woeist or disbelief or stinking thinking or whatever it is, we're needing to, again, step back, reflect, reassess, and change whatever needs to be changed within or without in order to gain some kind of balance and positive forward movement. Excuse me. And then you also have 2 sacral chakra, right? This deals with our passions. This also deals with sexuality. So again, if we're dealing with romantic type things, our approaches to that, etc. We got self-worth and perseverance, right? So again, for some people, they're walking away because they've realized that they're worthy of better, and they've discovered certain things that have kind of helped them to come to this awareness. And it's about persevering, healing, moving forward, and believing that miracles await you. Again, if we can get away from things that are holding us back, including ourselves, right? Now let us see what the cards say here. Miracle. Integrity is what turns on the light. Again, doing what is the best for you, right? Inspirational message. Do you let someone in or do you pretend not to see them? You cannot shut out pain without shutting out pleasure. Kindness exists to lend magic to integrity. So this is, of course, if we've been dealing with hurtful relationships, right? And feeling let down by that. For some, giving up on love, or, our perspective is needing a little shift where we don't block out future blessings based on one particular experience, right? As long as you stand in your integrity and in your truth and self-love, self-respect, having boundaries, again, living and learning through whatever experiences that we go through in life when dealing with other people. And again, knowing what is in our highest and best and not settling for less than that, right? Personal inquiry, the essence of inspiration is integrity. Can I be counted on? Can you count on yourself to step up to the plate for yourself? Can you count on yourself to, again, hold all of those virtues that I just spoke of: self-love, self-respect, boundaries, etc. It's having that strong inner constitution that will help you to navigate through life in a way that is, again, protects you, but also doesn't build up so many walls that we prevent blessings from coming in. It's just being aware, again, of your own tendencies or behavior patterns, as well as eyes being open to other people's and showing up accordingly, right? Key idea is being a light or lighting the way for others, coming miracles. Keywords are integrity, gifts, and rewards. So, of course, the universe wants to reward you if you have indeed learned a lesson, shed some karma, and are moving into a new awareness, a new way of being. And again, it's trying not to block those blessings from coming in, because you want to be teachable, right? But you don't want these situations to have you completely shut down. Again, things that can make you or break you. You know, and of course, it's all about making you, right? Making you stronger, making you wiser, persevering. Again, um, let us see here. Self-worth. Personal inquiry. How do I relate to the world? I'm sorry. How do I relate to the word deserving? Am I ready to allow myself to receive what others may not? Now, as far as deserving, again, a lot of times we don't value ourselves due to our own childhood wounding. So we find ourselves in situations where we could be used, taken advantage of, you know, being a people pleaser, being a doormat, giving more than we receive, because on some subconscious level, we don't feel that we deserve anything better. Hence, we keep attracting karmic situations, soulmates that are meant to teach us, again, about self-love, and that you do deserve what it is that you really want, right? But are blocking yourself from having by engaging in situations where that is not being given to you. Again, it's all about teaching and learning experiences through these soulmate connections, and knowing again that you are worthy, and to not settle for less than, or not settle for being less than all that you are meant to become in this life, right? Key ideas: greater knowledge, innocent curiosity, being rewarded, receiving divine love. Keywords are faith, self-love, and value. Again, first and foremost, always. Right? And those that do not respect you, or want you to compromise your values, your integrity, your self-love, just so that they can benefit, these are lessons. These people are, again, reason, season, lifetime people, having discernment, knowing the difference, and again, not accepting less than what you deserve. But first, you have to come into that awareness that you do deserve better, right? And to have faith, again, that miracles can happen. But again, it's how we show up, you know, how we show up and how we allow others to show up. And then we have, let's see, perseverance. Don't quit before the miracle. See, you even got miracle here, right? Inspiration message: when we do our chosen work, we are serving the highest order. If we stop, we upset the universal balance. What you work towards will materialize. You may not see it, but it lies ahead. So again, many times we put in a lot of work and effort and emotional investment and financial investment or whatever, and we feel like things always fail, or somehow it's because the universe blocks us from situations that really are only meant to be stepping stones, are only meant to be lessons. And again, sometimes what we want and what we need are two different things. And a lot of times we cling on to the ideas of people or the ideas of something, and being so focused on that, and when it doesn't happen, that can affect your self-worth. That can make you feel like giving up. That can make you feel maybe I'm not good enough, or how come it doesn't seem to work again, because maybe that particular thing wasn't meant to work. But that doesn't mean that it cannot work in a different form, or through a different person, or some kind of tweaking that we may need to do, but also be open to not having an attachment to the form of how it comes in, right? Again, you might be so focused on a particular person, trying to make things work with a particular person. But maybe that person, again, was just a season person. Not all soulmates are life partnerships. This and soulmates can be, again, friends, family, relationships, what have you. So again, don't give up faith in yourself or hope, because again, sometimes we need to be more open to allowing the universe to bring in exactly what it is that we want, but not be attached to, again, the form of how it comes in, whether that's a particular job or a particular person, again. But, if you're on the right path, or if you're in the right situation, you won't encounter blocks. Doors will be open for you almost effortlessly. And that's how you'll know if you're on the right path, right? Key ideas: breaking through unseen help at work or feeling taken for granted, overcoming doubts, again, self-doubts. And maybe we were taken for granted by people, but again, it's living and learning. Keywords are steadfast, success, and miracles. So you had a couple things talking about miracles here. And then lastly, discovery. I am more than I think I am. Personal inquiry. Am I happy in this situation? How is it benefiting me? The healing of predetermined agreements must be addressed. Awareness is healing, especially again when dealing with karmic soulmates, right? Soul contracts that were made before you incarnated here to go through certain experiences with certain people in your soul group, all meant to aid you in your own awakening, your own healing, self-awareness. Again, the energy that we bring and the energy that we allow. And obviously, anything that is not bringing you happiness is more than likely not meant for you. It's a lesson. But again, a lesson, an agreement that you had with a particular soul to go through that with. And again, if another person can show up differently, if they too can live, learn, and come into an awareness, some soulmates that have gone through karmic situations can become life partnerships. But again, it depends on how people show up. Some, again, are just meant to be stepping stones. Key ideas: leaving the past behind, a readiness for a new adventure, a willingness to venture into uncharted territory, a new level of self-care. Again, learning through experiences and showing up differently for yourself. And again, you show people how to treat you by what you allow. Again, self-respect, self-love, self-worth, always first and foremost. Keywords are uplift, journey, and commitment. So again, being committed to your journey, being committed to your healing, be committed on your path, wherever you're heading, following your intuition, again, learning from these experiences, taking that wisdom, moving forward, and knowing that better things are coming. If we can learn, again, how to release and just be open to allowing the universe to bless us in the way that they know is for our highest and best, right? So there you go for that. Now let us look at the first card here. We have the World. This is the vibration. Oh, I do this every time. Let us go back. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse, right? That's at the bottom of the deck. This is blocked or repressed emotions. This is a need to curb one's emotions for greater benefit. It's a need for emotional balance, a need to find constructive ways to express our feelings. It's also fears of getting hurt again. So perhaps we're a little closed off to love. It's a need for trust as well. It's feeling emotionally exhausted and need to look after one's emotional health, which is why many people are feeling like it's time to go. It's time to heal, time to reassess, what have you. This also speaks about delays in love. So again, if you are, depending on where you are in this, if this is fresh or if this is we've been sitting around waiting, wishing, hoping, dreaming for someone to come back or to change or what have you, perhaps again, it's again knowing when to move beyond that and be open to perhaps a new situation coming in that is going to serve our highest and best, and allowing the old situations, mindsets, people, what have you, to fall away. Because again, we create our own blocks by not releasing what needs to be released. We keep ourselves stuck. But either way, it's a need for obviously self-care, self-love, and then being open to receiving better. Again, could be through new situations, etc. And then we have here at the end here, we have the Eight of Cups, and then we also have Nine of Pentacles. So again, some people might be alone, some people might be working on their career, trying to live and learn from these experiences here, and try to let go of regrets, even though we might be still clinging on to, the emotions of whatever's happened. Because again, this could have just happened, yesterday, last week, 6 months ago, 2 years ago. Who knows? Again, this is general. Apply it as it may fit, but regardless, there's a call here to persevere. There's a call here to live and learn. There's a call here to persevere, to keep going, to believe in miracles, and to take care of oneself, our emotional and mental, sometimes physical well-being. Eight of Cups talks about change, transition, sadness, solitude, turning one's back on things. Again, like I said, time to go, reminded me kind of like the Eight of Cups. Seek deeper meanings in life, willing to let go for something more meaningful, being disappointed enough to walk away, right? And this could be, again, in regards to a job, a relationship, or what have you, something that is obviously leaving us drained, unhappy, and needing to, again, move towards something better. Feeling like you're giving more than you get in return. And again, one-sided situations, that shit's got to go. Now we get to the world here. This is, again, the vibration that you're currently sending out. So the world, again, speaks about cycles ending, new ones beginning, allowing that to happen. Signifies, again, change, transition, completion of a journey, embarking on a new one, being future looking, right? It's also about accomplishment and victory, just like the Wheel of Fortune, and talks about cycles. The planet ruler is Saturn, right? Which talks about, again, time, repetitive patterns, repetitive cycles, karma, ending that, learning from that, allowing, again, the universe to bless us, give us our dharma for whatever karma that we have shed. And right now we're in a time period where we have that possibility, right? But it depends on us and how willing we are to let go, forgive ourselves, forgive other people, allow things that are not serving us to end, including ways that we show up for ourselves, and allowing Jupiter to bring in that blessing, because right now Jupiter is passing Saturn, right? So again, if we stay stuck, we're just going to continue to reap the negative aspects of whatever situation that you went through. But if we allow the universe, again, to bless us, live and learn, be willing to move on, move forward, to keep going, you will get your dharmic blessing. Again, completion of a major life cycle, enduring hardships and challenges, coming full circle, right? It's also the attainment of a long-held dream. So again, if we're have a dream or something that we're trying to pursue, believe that it will manifest for you. Again, with consistency, effort, and applying ourselves, showing up in a certain way, what is meant for you will never be denied you. You'll only encounter blocks when something is not meant for you, or it's not the right time, because there's something in it that you're still needing to learn about the self or show up differently. Again, when you're ready for it, that's when it will come. But for a lot of people, it's learning how to get out of our own way so that we can prepare ourselves to be ready for the blessing. Also speaks about world travel, marriages, graduations, pregnancy, births. It's the opposite of the hangman, which looks within. The world looks outwardly. It speaks about evolution, attainment of enlightenment, and the cyclical progression of time and experience. Again, learning through life experience. And the funny thing, the why of this, you have the world again, but in reverse. Um, so this is lack of completion and closure. So obviously it's the opposite, right? Difficulty in completion, tending to take the easy, quick path that doesn't lead to desired outcomes, losing focus to complete, lack of closure, preventing new beginnings, delays in change. So they talk about delays here as well. Not taking all the steps necessary to achieve our goals. It's asking you to not fear hardships and challenges, but to rise up to them. It's also about things left unsaid, people left hanging, not knowing where they stand, or a need to communicate, or a need for closure. And sometimes, if you keep looking for that from another person, you may or may not get that. Closure comes through you. Again, because not everybody is going to admit to the shit that they did or be apologetic or feel sorry. Again, depending on what you've been dealing with or the type of person you've been dealing with, sometimes that closure has to just, you have to get that yourself. And for many, they keep waiting for that from another person, and they block, again, their own blessings and not allowing that cycle to end. Because for some people, again, reason, season people, right? You may feel frustrated due to delays. You need to have devotion, patience, again, perseverance. Don't give up, right? So obviously, perhaps this is what we're feeling. This is what we need to feel about our current situation, or this is what we were feeling, and this is what we're now feeling. Like we're ready, right? We're trying to take the steps. We're moving on. We're walking away. We're allowing for healing. So again, however that plays out. But I thought that was interesting that they came out the same card, but in the reverse. Now, this is something that you need to be more open to receiving. It's like, what the hell is this shit? We need to be open to receiving some shady people that are only serving their own interests. Well, we should hope not. This, of course, speaks about shallow victories, one-upmanship where nobody wins, disagreements that lead to tension and hostility, thinking one has won but still loses because you've hurt others and possibly isolated yourself or lost relationships. So again, if you're the person who was acting shitty towards other people, or if you were on the receiving end of this kind of behavior. If you were on the receiving end of it, obviously we're just needing to learn from it, right? What works, what doesn't, what that situation was about, and again, and allowing for healing and forward movement, right? This is about others also may have lost faith in you. So again, depending on what side of the coin we're falling on, obviously even people that do this type of thing to other people, they are wounded. There needs to be some kind of self-reflection or self-awareness or healing to happen within them so that they stop showing up this way and again blocking their own blessings, losing relationships due to this kind of behavior. This is also asking, is your point of view so important that you put your relationships in jeopardy? So again, depending on what side of the coin you're falling on here. If you figure I do what I got to do to survive or whatever, and again, end up hurting other people, in the long run hurting ourselves, this is a lesson that we're needing to learn. This is also a need to compromise to try to see eye to eye with one another. A need to compromise, and the compromising again doesn't mean sacrificing your integrity, your self-love, your self-respect, or whatever. Compromise, and sometimes it's agreeing to disagree or finding a way to find peace with whatever happened, and being able to move forward, right? Just know that it was about a lesson to help you to evolve in the self, and coming into, again, a peace about it. Coming to peace, coming to terms, again, and allowing new and better things to come in. This is possible future struggles that we aren't aware of. You know, it can be ambition in the negative sense. It's either being the callous winner or the dejected loser. The price of winning wasn't worth the reward. Betrayal, unfaithfulness, jealousy, defeat. So again, if we've been behaving this way, that shit's got to go. If we went through an experience like this, again, try not to stay in the woeist. Try not to stay in the victim mindset. Again, we have to always accept our own accountability for the roles that we play in our own misery, including allowing shady ass people to take advantage, because we use, you know, I love them to stay in a situation when you need to be loving yourself more. You know, again, all of this is about lessons and awareness, and again, not staying in situations or mindsets that serve no value other than keeping you stuck and in pain, right? It's about moving beyond that. Again, living and learning, right? And trying to release any negative emotions that we might be still holding on to from an experience, because again, you could be blocking a blessing coming in because we're still holding on to anger, resentment, what have you. And this is the why. We have the High Priestess in the reverse. Now, this obviously speaks about hidden agendas or not listening to our intuition. So again, rose-colored glasses, perhaps we were, again, wanting to see good in situations or people when really they were just there to take advantage or what have you. But again, living and learning. It's a need to reflect or meditate. Important answers lie within if we seek them. It's also losing focus on our own needs. Again, that's self-sacrificing, staying in situations that are making us miserable, again, because we love somebody. Well, you know, if they're not loving you in return, you're playing the part in your own misery by staying. You can wish and hope and wait and dream all you want for somebody to change. But again, depending on what you're dealing with here, some people are incapable of change, and you're just, again, prolonging your own suffering. Again, needing to take time out for you, perhaps to heal from this betrayal, right? Which is what the other one is talking about with recovery. Now, this is also repressed feelings or over-reliance on the opinions of others, excessive need for approval or validation. This stems a lot from, again, low self-esteem, right? Which is why we find ourselves in relationships with users, abusers, narcissists, whatever. It comes from a lack of self-love, lack of boundaries, lack of, you know, and wanting to heal other people. Again, it's a form of codependency, thinking I can love and heal this person into becoming better. And some, they will make you think that you can through emotional manipulation, because narcissists love to play the victim, get you to feel sorry for them. And again, it's all part of an act. It's all so they can keep on benefiting from your empathetic nature or your tendency to not have boundaries, to not have self-love and self-respect, to not nip shit in the bud and kick people to the curb that should have been kicked to the curb a long time ago. Again, because we weren't loving ourselves enough. But again, it's not about kicking yourself in the ass. It's not about sitting in regrets. It's not about feeling sorry for ourselves. It's about living and learning and becoming wiser and stronger, having gone through this process. And therefore, we are not going to repeat it again, right? Because self-love comes first and foremost. And if you are around anybody who is not treating you with the love and respect that you deserve, then again, you have to know that you deserve it. You have to know that you deserve it, because if you don't, you will constantly be taken advantage of by people like this. They're counting on you not loving yourself. They're counting on you not having any boundaries. They're counting on you to be a doormat that they can just use and manipulate and whatever. And if you don't know what narcissistic personality disorder is about, and a lot of people that are entangled with people who are narcissists or who have those traits, they don't understand the full scope of what they're dealing with. And a lot of times they get sucked into these relationships and they stay in these relationships because they don't know really what they're dealing with. And they have to find out in the aftermath, having been completely destroyed by somebody who behaves this way, for them to come into that awareness and that realization. And it's sad to say, but again, if you don't know anything about that disorder, or if you think that you might have been dealing with somebody who has this disorder, educate yourself so that you can learn the behavior patterns. Because I tell you, it doesn't matter who you're dealing with. They all operate from the same handbook. And you'll be able to pick up on if people have narcissistic tendencies. Again, it falls on a spectrum, ranging from just a person who lies and cheats or whatever to someone who's, sociopathic, who can be a danger to you. You have to educate yourself because there's a lot of broken children walking around in adult bodies and a lot of people that are suffering from mental afflictions that they aren't even aware of, including ourselves. People that tend to be codependent because you grew up in environments where abuse was tolerated. Again, educating yourself even as far as your own shadow work and what you need to heal within you so that, again, we stop attracting these people, we stop entertaining these people, we learn from this experience, we educate ourselves, and you will clearly be able to pick up on personality traits, behavior patterns of anybody who might have a psychological disorder that they may not even be aware that they have, but they know that they do fucked up shit. They know that they take advantage of people. They know that they lie. They know that they cheat. They know that they use. They're fully aware of what they do. They just don't care. They treat people as means to an end. And again, if you do not learn the behavior patterns of people with cluster B personality types, because they're everywhere, doctors, lawyers, people in places, in spiritual positions, and again, because they're there for the adulation of their followers, and again, but they're narcissists. You really, and I throw that out in pretty much every reading that I do, because a lot of people are dealing with karmic soulmates who may suffer from some form of narcissism or some kind of mental disorder that they even aren't aware of, and it's, I throw it out there because it might ring a bell for people who might be watching these videos, and it might get them to kind of look at their own tendencies, possibly codependency, or research, so that you can become, again, wiser, so that you don't repeat this, because again, like I says, they're everywhere. And if you don't have any boundaries or self-love or self-respect, you're like a magnet for these types of people. And they'll prey on your insecurities. They'll sell you a dream and deliver a nightmare with the love bombing, and they build you up, and then after they'll keep you on an up and down cycle where in the end you're left where you end up having to go see a therapist because you develop post-traumatic stress from dealing with these situations. Again, know what you're dealing with. And that's what I tell everybody. Not to say that everybody's dealing with a narcissist, but again, patterns of behavior tell you all you need to know in regards to what you might be dealing with. Because not to say that some people don't lie and some people don't cheat, but they are, obviously, or they just act shitty. That doesn't mean that they're, have a disorder, but they obviously got a problem. Because anybody who behaves that way or treats people like that, they obviously have a problem. And again, educate yourself. I would advise even people that haven't been dealing with narcissists to educate themselves in regards to that personality disorder, because you will see that a lot of people that you encounter embody those traits, and you'll be able to navigate through life a whole lot better and save yourself from, you know what I'm saying? Because the heart can get away from even what the intuition is trying to tell people. You can feel something's off or whatever, but you love them. So again, you play a role in your own suffering because you keep looking for somebody to be something that they're not. Um, and again, like I says, I always try to hold that out for people, because some people would have no idea, the level of psychosis that some people have. I says, even in regards to the self, some people may not realize that they're codependent. Some people may not realize, they just think that they're a good person who gets taken advantage of. But really, it stems from, again, low self-worth. And where does that come from? Usually childhood wounding. You know, and again, it's educating yourself first and foremost on you. What's in me that needs to change? What are these experiences teaching me? Do I have something that I need to address that goes far deeper than, me just being a kind, giving, caring person? Because you can be one to a fault, and you will get taken advantage of. And unless you learn, again, to know that you deserve better or stand up for yourself when you're not being treated right, this will be a cycle again, because the universe will constantly bring in situations to keep holding up that mirror to show you what about you needs to change. And from what I see here, obviously self-worth and self-love was a part of that lesson. And on that note, and also again, needing to follow our intuition with stuff, and sometimes not letting the heart cloud what the spirit is trying to tell you. Because again, we want to paint people in different pictures, or we don't want to see it. Oh, again, you know what I'm saying? This card here represents what will come when you are more open to this. We got the Ace of Swords, but in the reverse. So this, maybe we'll come out of confusion. We'll gain clarity where once there was a lack of clarity, or clouded judgments, again, because we let our emotions lead the way. And again, and not being logical, what the mind is trying to tell us. But sometimes your mind can be damaged from dealing with people that gaslight, again, emotional manipulation, again. Oh Lord, I pray for people. I pray for people again to gain wisdom, because again, whether it's on the small scale or the grand scale, awareness is and knowledge is power. Awareness and knowledge is power. Again, lack of clarity around what your true goals and aspirations are. A need to spend more time on clearly defining in real terms what you want in life. Again, and don't settle. A need for planning and focus. An idea not yet put into action, or are unable to make decisions, creating challenges, clouded judgment, missing important information that may assist you, or a need to seek the truth rather than taking things at face value. Always dig deeper, because again, a lot of people that come to use and take advantage, it's all a show. They're wearing a mask. So again, don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore what your intuition is telling you. Always seek clarity, wisdom, and truth, and not just always what a person is presenting to you, because a lot of times it can be a facade. A lot of people are looking to serve their own interests, right? Don't be so quick to jump into relationships. Again, fast-moving relationships. Again, where people come on strong and talk about soulmate. Again, they are your soulmate, but they're karmic. But they feed off of you wanting to be, you being a love devotee, or they feed off of people that are hungry for love, or they feed off of people that have low self-esteem. Again, give people time to prove themselves. And generally, when dealing with narcissistic types or users, as long as you have your boundaries in place, and as long as you don't allow them to, rush full force in with stuff, eventually that person will fall off, you know, because again, it's too much effort, or they don't see that you be a person that they'd be able to manipulate or whatever. And usually the mask slips with narcissists not too far into the situation. Usually within the first couple of months, you'll start to see certain things because, again, they can't hold up that facade for long. And then they'll be nice one day, and then they'll be shitty another, and again, and leave you in a state of confusion and uncertainty. But this is how they get you on that emotional roller coaster where you don't know what side is up, what side is down, and you'll be constantly chasing, going back to how it was in the beginning. You know, when how it was in the beginning was really just a ruse to get you sucked into something where then that's when they got you. So again, self-awareness, know your own tendencies, you know, to fall for the dream and not realizing that, again, sometimes you're dealing with people that are wolves in sheep's clothing. So again, we're needing to be wiser, right? And why? Because the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups obviously talks about what makes us happy, what makes us happy, you know, and not settling for less than, not making excuses for mistreatment or bad behavior, or again, giving people more opportunities to, you know, let you down, take advantage, make you unhappy. So obviously we're needing to get clear, which it looks like some might be, and knowing that they're needing to, again, move forward. Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups. Oh, there goes my Christmas clock. It goes off on the hourly chime. Shall we wait for the song to finish? Maybe. There we go. Again, Nine of Cups speaks about integrity, completion or final stage of development. And you had here too, self-worth, you know, discovering our self-worth, right? Past methods of coping are important. So again, how we show up and what we allow. And if that stems from some rooted childhood wounding or trauma in regards to, again, codependency and how we cope with or deal with or respond to certain treatment, again, what we allow and why do we allow it? What is it within me that needs to change so that, again, I stand up for myself. I do what is in my highest and best. And I don't settle for less than being treated the way that I should or what makes me not happy, right? Recognizing, again, the patterns. Wanting to enjoy the pleasures of life, big ideas and grand schemes, right? So again, following one's dreams, keep pursuing things that are going to bring you happiness and fulfillment. And not settling, again, for less. It's the wish card. You know, sometimes, again, be careful what you wish for, especially if you keep wishing for a past person to come back around. Some of these people are just there to pick off the bones. Watch out. You know, if we truly want something better, again, we have to gain that clarity and that wisdom and know, again, when it's time to go, when it's time to keep on moving. Joy and happiness that's in your grasp. You know, but again, we have to go through it. We have to persevere. We have to go towards that. Counting your blessings, living in the moment, stability, advancement, or about to achieve the 10. So again, miracles can come. You know, your ideal partner may be in the future for you. You got to keep hope alive, people. Now, this represents how can I... Oh, the next step that you have to take, the leap of faith. So this card obviously talks about, you know, work, putting in the work. This talks about, again, knowing when to fold them and knowing when to cut your losses and to stop working on something that ain't working. Again, time to go, right? This is also lacking ambition or focus. Attention to details getting in the way, needing to realize again that nothing's perfect. We're creating a barrier somehow for ourselves. So again, this could be involved in, pursuit of dreams or career or what have you. This, you could have been dealing with somebody, again, a business partner or something that is, screwed you over somehow. This is also about time wasted. Again, knowing when to no longer invest in things or to keep working on things, something that's going nowhere. Lack of success and progress, disappointment, frustration, right? Needing to, again, look at the big picture, needing to reprioritize, change direction. Are you willing to work on the right things? Are you missing something important? Again, especially if it's in regards to a lesson here. Don't miss out on that, or you'll just invite another situation that's going to present the same thing to you. Again, show up differently for yourself, whether that's in love, in friendships, in family, in business, what have you. This is obviously about you living and learning, growing, changing, so that we can try to avoid, not to say that we'll never encounter things again, but wisdom is key here, and it will help you in the long road. And the why of this is the Princess of Swords. So this, of course, can talk about, information that we've gathered, information that we've come into an awareness of, some kind of clarity. This is also about new projects, ideas, passion, and enthusiasm. So again, it's encouragement to move forward, to get the wheels in motion, despite any challenges potentially being in the way, aligning with others who don't stifle your direction. So again, not aligning ourselves with people, again, who don't have our highest and best in mind. A truth seeker, the ability to learn and grow, especially through our challenges, through our situations, through our relationships, throughout our life, right? Grounding one's thoughts, a level of tension or conflict that may teach you something, again, about yourself. Someone who can be defensive or offensive, depending if this is you, defending yourself against mistreatment. Again, no longer willing to put in work or effort into something because we've gained some kind of awareness or wisdom in regards to a situation, or we're needing to. Now again, that's seeking the truth. The truth. Even the truth that we already know, or we should already know, in regards to, what our intuition is trying to tell us, right? So that's what we're needing to do. Follow our higher knowing. How can you manifest even more successfully? Oof, we got the King of Swords in reverse. And then you got the why of it is the Seven of Swords underneath. So again, and then with the Five of Swords here, I'd say it's time to go, for sure. Again, King of Swords in reverse could be somebody who's manipulative, tyrannical, abusive, misuse of mental power, authority, or drive, manipulation, self-serving, someone who could be cutting with their words, so can the Page of Swords, right? So if you've been dealing with somebody, again, who could be a little verbally abusive or abusive in whatever way, someone who can be charming and intellectual but harmful because they only have their own personal interests in mind, which is kind of what the Five of Swords describes. It could be somebody, again, who's narcissistic, someone who's critical, stern, leaves you feeling demoralized and put down, right? Loose cannon, a tyrant. This can also talk about lack of decisiveness about opportunities or direction. This could be you having scattered thoughts or feeling lost or uncertain about our options. So again, this is where this clarity needs to come in. That's why they're telling you take time to heal, reflect, and figure things out, right? Um, Again, misuse of mental power. Keep toiling away at things that perhaps are mentally and emotionally draining, even as far as a dead end job, or dealing with shady people in a job situation. Um, so again, new things await you. That's why they're saying just live and learn, try to get grounded, and believe in yourself, and keep pushing forward. And the Seven of Swords again speaks about overconfidence, mocking, deception, betrayal, difficulty trying to get away with something undetected or unnoticed, something that goes awry and secrets are revealed to your embarrassment. So again, I don't know if this was you or the person that you're dealing with, but something's coming out here, in regards to somebody's behavior. And there needs to be an awareness of it again, whether you were the one doing the betraying and the shady shit, or you were dealing with somebody who is doing that. Time to go might be even telling the people who are behaving in this way that shit's got to go. It's time to go. It's time to heal those parts of us that causes us to show up this way. Gaining some clarity. If you want to be happy in life, you got to recognize your own patterns, your cyclical patterns of how you show up and how you treat people, knowing again that something's got to go. And again, living and learning and trying to show up differently, because even the people who behave this way, they lack self-love as well, which is why they don't have any regard for how anybody else feels or how their actions affect anybody else. It still stems from some form of childhood wounding for them too, which is, again, it's two different sides of the same coin for many. This is also, a need to be cautious and wary so not to become the victim of someone else's deceptions, betrayal, cheating. Need to be careful who you trust. A need to trust one's instinct, again, one's intuition. Don't be so quick to believe, because you'd be easy to deceive, right? It's also a desire to go it alone. Time to go, right? Acting on one's own accord, asserting one's independence, cutting people out or cutting situations out that don't serve us anymore, right? That is how you can manifest more successfully. And the last is the message from Spirit. This is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And why do we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse? Because of the Eight of Pentacles, which is similar to this. Again, you have two cards here, both things that are showing the reverse, right? And again, the advice is for you going into December or going into the new year. This speaks about lack of progress, planning, or short-term focus, blocks that are in the way of achieving our goals. Sometimes, again, it's the emotional blocks, the things that we're putting out that are creating blocks for us, not feeling grounded, not feeling like we can persevere or to keep moving forward. Again, being in the woest or being in the regret or being in the whatever from this experience again. But needing to, again, realize our value and that we are lovable or we are worthy of having what it is that we seek, whether that's pursuing a dream or relationship or what have you, and not be deterred by feeling like a failure or things aren't moving fast enough or certain situations didn't work out, because, again, some are meant to just be stepping stones, some are just meant to be learning experiences, some of them are not quite what you should be doing. Again, there might be some tweaking or some kind of clarity that needs to come in as far as, different ways of approaching things or trying a different path or a different way in order to make something successful. Again, and not creating our own blocks. Again, because the energy that we're putting out, is what's going to be manifested. So if we're in the stinking thinking, if we're in the lack of belief in ourselves, if we're sitting in the woest or whatever it is, we're blocking, again, our own blessings, right? That's why it's important to heal and release and be open. This is about loss of faith in our talents and abilities due to lack of success. Again, so don't lose faith. Again, miracles, persevere, right? Believe in yourself. It's a need to also relax, lighten up, and get some downtime, which is what the recovery is about. Again, don't be so hard on yourself, right? Haven't planned right, a need for review or a need for recommitment. Again, it's just about reassessing, figuring out again what works, what doesn't, and showing up accordingly. But it's not about kicking ourselves in the ass. It's not about staying in negative mindsets. It's not about staying in situations that don't serve our highest and best. It's about, again, living and learning and having faith that if we show up differently, if we send out a different energy, the universe will bring us better things. But if we're operating from an energy of low self-worth, you're going to keep attracting situations that are going to amplify that and to try to show you that you need to believe in yourself, you need to stand up for yourself, you need to know your value, know your worth, and get the bigger perspective in regards to the reason why all things happen or the reason why this situation happened. Do a life review. How have I showed up in my life? Again, the energy that I brought and the energy that I allowed, how can I learn from these experiences and how can I move forward with a new sense of self and be proud that you've overcome whatever challenges that you've gone through in life. You're still here. There's still opportunities for better things to do better. But again, it's how we show up for ourselves first and foremost is going to play a big part on the life that we have, right? And again, and the reason for this is about the Eight of Pentacles. So obviously knowing what's worth putting in the effort into, and obviously our own healing first and foremost. Again, taking practical steps, being consistent, not giving up, putting in the effort first and foremost to our own healing. Because again, once we know better, we do better, right? And making wiser investments in the future. Now, the advice in regards to love. We have, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. I'm going to go over these. I'm not just reading them off. Honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And then trust. The situation's calling for you to have faith. So, as far as healing family issues, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Obviously, this talks about, again, childhood wounding. Getting some clarity, again, in regards to how we show up for ourselves. And if it's due to some childhood wounding, then we're needing to, again, forgive our parents because, again, people are who they are due to their own conditioning. So, again, we break the karmic cycle of repeating what we see. What did love look like to me as a child? So this way, we instill, if we have children of our own, we instill in them all those things or qualities that we struggled with having ourselves due to our own childhood wounding, setting a good example for our kids, teaching them to love themselves and value themselves so they don't find themselves in these situations, right? Now, engagement, obviously, if we've healed through something, shed some karma, then yes, your love life is going to ascend to a higher level of commitment. That means that something better is going to come to you because, again, you've shed this karma, you've healed this wound, right? And the next person that comes in could be the one. You have enjoy the holiday. You have the honeymoon card here, which kind of reminds me of the Six of Swords. So this is obviously about leaving things behind and moving towards something that is going to make you happier, right? Um, we have here separation, which also can be indicative of that separating from someone. And then very soon, trust. You know, the universe might be saying, you know, soon you might have another situation that's going to come in that's going to be better for you. Trust, right? Um, now, you know, if you were on the other side of this coin, where you were the one doing the shady stuff, etc., we got a lot of people that are maybe trying to heal relationships that kind of went down the shitter due to, you know, bad behaviors or, you know, the hurtful behaviors to other people again. And I says, you know, some soulmate situations can become life partnerships if both people recognize their own wounding, their own patterns, their own stuff that's got to go, and are willing to do the work on themselves so that they can have better relationships, better experiences in life, what have you. um, So if people are able to do that, you know, they might try to make something work again with someone, you know, but obviously trust has been destroyed and it might need to be rebuilt. So maybe that's why, you know, they're going to work on trying to heal something so that you can move past whatever difficulties you've been through. You know, some people might have been separated from people, and during this time of separation, you know, that they've been doing their own inner work. And again, it's changing. It can have the possibility to change the dynamic of a situation for the better. But again, it depends on how people are showing up, right? So, depending on what your situation is, if you are a person who did somebody wrong and is trying to change that and come back around because you realize the error of your ways, again, or someone might be trying to come back to you to do that. But again, know what you're dealing with. Know what you're dealing with. Be wise. Be discerning. Do what is in your highest and best. You know, again, the choice is yours. You don't have to tie yourself to somebody, okay, if you don't feel like that situation is going to bear fruit. Know what's worth putting in the work into and know what's not. Do what is best for you. Do what's going to be most emotionally fulfilling for you. And again, depends on how people show up and depending on their consistency. And so it says, don't rush into anything, whether this is an old person, a new person, what have you. Don't rush into situations. Allow people to show who they are over time. And if you're dealing with anybody who's only looking to serve their own interests, eventually that mask will slip and you'll realize what you're dealing with. Hold your reins. There's no need to rush or to jump into or anything with anybody, especially if you've been through situations where you could have been dealing with narcissists or people that were there, you know, serving their own interests. If you have a habit of kind of engaging in these kind of relationships, again, learn from the experience. And even if it's a completely new person that's coming in, show up differently in that situation. Because sometimes the universe will bring a past person back just to test you to see if you've learned. Sometimes they might bring a new person in, but somebody who embodies those same traits to, again, to see if you've learned. So whether it's an old person or a new person, it's you who's got to change whatever part of you that allowed certain things to happen, more than likely, more than once, most likely, with different people. Again, it's seeing our own stuff. So no matter who we're dealing with, we learn to recognize our own patterns and we learn to recognize behavior patterns and other people that might hint to deeper rooted issues. Because again, eventually those things show up. So take your time, make sure that we are healed, make sure that we are wise, make sure that we don't be so quick to trust or to believe what people present themselves to be. Allow things to progress in a time period that you feel comfortable with, where you can feel that this person is trustworthy or worth investing in, right? But again, even like I says, even the new person can come in embodying that same lesson just to test you. So whether it's new or old, we have to show up differently, right? Then we have here, did they lie to you about who they were? Or did you lie to yourself about who they were? And sometimes it's both. They're lying to cover up their shady shit, and we're, lying to ourselves because, again, one day it's great, one day it's shit, one day it's great, one day it's shit. They said you don't know if you're coming or going, what end is what, etc. So again, that's why I don't take just things at face value. Follow your intuition, follow your true knowing of if something's not making me happy, if this person's not treating me right, it really, there's like, how much more red flags do you need? But sometimes we put on those rose-colored glasses because we want so desperately to have a partner. Oh, we don't want it because we have our own wounding, fear of abandonment, fear of being alone, codependency, whatever it is. That's why it says self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is key, and recognizing our own tendencies to want to heal or fix or love or believe or whatever, paint people in different colors. You know what I'm saying? Rose-colored glasses may look good, but they'll never do you any good. So again, wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Forget about them and focus on you. You're spending too much time and energy focusing on someone. Watching paint dry doesn't make it faster. Let go and let God. Whatever will be, will be. In the meantime, do you. So, obviously, like I said, some people might be separated. Some people might be, if this is meant to be a life partnership, again, it will depend on how people show up. And if you are separated in the meantime, do your work, do your healing. And if somebody's meant to come back, how they show up, that will determine. And if they're not meant to come back, let them go. But at least you've done the inner work. You focus on your own healing, your own career, your own what have you, and know that better things are coming, right? The wisest investment you can make is in yourself. This journey is about your soul's growth and evolution. Never lose sight of this truth. When you love, respect, and invest in yourself, the possibilities are endless. Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a long time making it. When we deny the truth, our own happiness, compromising our self-worth, integrity, morals, standards, values, etc., this is not loving ourselves. And if you find yourself clinging to something or someone you know is not good for you, you need to ask yourself why. Is it fear or conditioning that's making you settle for less than? What is it about you that needs to change? Go for it. Whatever it is, the universe is supporting you. So especially if it's in regards to moving on to things that are going to be more fulfilling, where you're going to find happiness, the universe is supporting you in that decision. Again, it's always up to you. Just because a card puts a soulmate title on somebody or whatever, or, if that person is not treating you right, if that person isn't showing up as far as wanting to reflect on their own shit and do the work to heal and make things work with you, regardless of that title of that person, it doesn't necessarily mean that you got to stay with that. Do what is going to be good for you, regardless of what the title on a card says. Okay? Shit gets old, move on. Whether it's with you, them, or both, at some point shit gets old. So whoever's got to go, let it. Because again, you got more than one soulmate. Some are karmic, again, reason, season, lifetime. Know again to use discernment on what is what, and don't cling to a certain person just because you feel like you won't find another soulmate, because again, you block your own blessings. You have to believe that the universe is not going to leave you without that which your heart desires. But you have to be patient. You have to believe. You have to do the work so that you can be ready for it. Because if you're sending out that same victim energy, you're just going to get another situation that's going to try to teach you that lesson all over again. Then you have here, they are sincere. Their intentions are good. So perhaps, again, if we're dealing with a past person that's coming around, they might be trying to present themselves as wanting to work on things, wanting to heal, wanting to change, all this kind of stuff. Use discernment again. Or they're telling you, don't cling to that past person just because whatever, focus on yourself. Go for what's going to make you happy, because shit gets old, and move towards somebody who's going to be sincere, who's going to love you and value you the way that you should be loved and valued, right? Go for that. We have here, they are in love with you. Give it a chance, but if negative cards come with this one, someone might be lying and just trying to convince you that this is true. Use discernment. This could be true love. Don't mess it up. Make sure unresolved issues don't cause you to self-sabotage. So again, if we're not heal before you deal, if we're still unaware of our own stuff, again, or we're clinging on to the pain of what somebody else did to us, but not learning the lesson and brushing off our shoulders and having confidence that we can, handle the way that we show up differently and be open to receiving, we could self-sabotage a future relationship that actually could be with someone who is sincere, someone who will love you the way that you should be loved, and who could be the one for you, right? But you're needing to trust, again, that will come in for you as long as you do what is in your highest and best and move towards that and allow universe to do their role, right? So this is what you want, someone who is sincere, someone who would love you, and let us not have our own issues come up where we self-sabotage our own happiness, block our own blessings, self-worth, persevere. Discover your own light and believe in miracles. And until next time, my dear, I send you love and light. I wish you healing and luck in regards to this and anything else you might be going through. Again, please like, subscribe, share. And until next time, my lovelies, take care. Bye-bye.